covenant identity, lifespans, and the last enemy. 1 Corinthians 15 and Baruch 3. Peace. This is Augustus, and today we're going deeper into what we've been teaching on covenant identity and lifespans. Because when you understand who you are, you also understand what was promised to you and what was stolen from you. Two scriptures came to mind that tie this together perfectly. 1 Corinthians 15:26 and Baruch 3, verses 9 through 12. One tells you what the last enemy is. The other tells you why that enemy gained power in the first place. Let's walk through it. First Corinthians 15:26. The last enemy. Paul says the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Now listen to that carefully. Death is not described as natural. Death is not described as normal. Death is not described as part of covenant identity. Death is called an enemy. That means death is an intruder. Death is a thief. Death is something that does not belong to covenant people. And Paul is saying that death is the final enemy. The last thing that will be removed from Israel's experience. So when we talk about lifespans, we're not talking about superstition. We're talking about covenant. We're talking about identity. We're talking about the original design for Israel. Death is not your identity. Life is. Baruch 3, 9 through 12. Why death rules. Baruch says, here are the commandments of life, not commandments of ritual, not commandments of religion, commandments of life. Then he says, Israel forsook the fountain of wisdom. Israel walked away from the source of life. Israel abandoned the path that produces long days and peace. And because of that, death gained power. Baruch is explaining the collapse of lifespan. He's explaining why Israel went from long life to shortened life. He's explaining why death became a ruler instead of a defeated enemy. It wasn't genetics. It wasn't environment. It wasn't chance. It was covenant abandonment. When Israel left wisdom, life left Israel. Putting them together. Now watch how these two scriptures connect. Paul tells you the final outcome. Death will be destroyed. Baruch tells you the current condition. Death rules because Israel forsook the commandments of life. Put them together and you get the full picture. Death is an enemy. Death only rules where covenant is broken. Death's power is temporary. Death will be removed from covenant people. Life is the true identity of Israel. This is why lifespan is a covenant issue. This is why wisdom is a covenant issue. This is why obedience is a covenant issue. Israel's lifespan shrank because Israel abandoned the commandments of life. Israel's lifespan will be restored when death, the last enemy, is destroyed. Covenant identity is life identity. When you understand covenant identity, you understand that life belongs to you. Wisdom belongs to you. Longevity belongs to you. Restoration belongs to you. Victory over death belongs to you. Death is not your inheritance. Death is not your destiny. Death is not your identity. Death is an enemy. And enemies get defeated. Baruch shows you the cause. Paul shows you the conclusion. And Real Hoodoo teaches you how to walk in the middle of that truth. Right now, through alignment, discipline, land, wisdom, and covenant. So in closing, when we talk about lifespans, we're not talking about superstition. We're talking about covenant identity. We're talking about the commandments of life. We're talking about the wisdom given to Jacob and Israel alone. Death is the last enemy, and its time is limited. This is Augustus. This is Real Hoodoo. And this is the truth about covenant, identity, and life. Peace.